ladies, it's Janice here, and welcome to this week's In Between Rounds. This week I'm going to take you through a little bit of a lacrosse ball release and some mobility work for your neck and upper back. I feel as though lately we've all been carrying a lot of stress, and we tend to carry it right there. So this is just a little something that you can use this week and for the weeks beyond to help you release some of that tension. Or perhaps today's the day that you woke up from sleeping wrong and your neck is sore, or maybe you were in the car and you reached something out of the back seat and it just doesn't feel right. So this is going to give you a lot of relief in that area. So of course, make sure you do have a lacrosse ball, and the best place to do this is on the corner of a wall. Right now I've got a corner and a doorway, so I can do both sides in the same spot. You'll just have to rotate around your corner if you've got a solid wall on that other side. So from here, we're gonna use this lacrosse ball to release kind of all four areas: the front, the top, the side, and the back of that upper back. I'm gonna set a timer. We are gonna go 45 seconds on each spot. That doesn't mean you're holding it still for 45 seconds. I'm gonna have you move this ball around and find those tight areas, hold it there, little movement. So this is your 45 seconds to explore on yourself where you may need it most, because we're all gonna need it at a little bit different points, and you're gonna need a little bit different pressure. So listen to your body and give it exactly what it needs. So we're gonna start our first one with a pec release. So that's your chest. I want you to have the ball right below your collarbone, and you're gonna be against the wall. So that's why this corner is great, because then I can have my face on the outside of the wall. If you don't have a corner, put a yoga block between the ball and the wall. I'm gonna set this for 45, and we're gonna start here on our right side. So the ball is in that chest, and we're feeling around in that area. So just some small movements here. And as you'll notice, I've got a staggered stance. I do find that to be a better position so that I can adjust the intensity. If I want to get a little deeper, I'm going to sort of increase that stance, and I can push into the wall more. If you're real tender here, you can stand a little more upright. That's going to give you a little less intensity, less pressure into that sensitive area. So we only have 10 seconds left. It's not terrible. It's not too long. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to switch sides. So now we're going left side, same thing, right in that chest. So again, I want you to have that staggered stance. Opposite foot is forward here. And again, we're rolling through that position. You can adjust how much pressure you're putting into that pec muscle. Sometimes I'll even rise up onto my toe to get real low. And if you need to, you can bend that knee to get higher up without having to move that ball around. But of course, adjust with your hands if you need to move where you have that ball, especially if you have slippery clothes on. So keep on going. We are so close, just 5 seconds left in this chest. And perfect. So from here, we're going to move to the top. This is your trap. And for a lot of people, this is where there'll be a lot of tightness. So you're going to have the ball right on top of your trap. And I'm going to have you bend at your hip. So staggered stance again. You're bending at the hip so that you can press into the ball this way. We're going to start on our right side. Start with that ball right on your trap. And opposite foot is forward. Okay, here we go. So as I mentioned, my back is flat, and I can adjust how much I'm pressing into the wall. And I find for me, I like to almost rotate a bit diagonally as I'm going through here. That's where I carry tension. May not be the case for you, but again, explore. Roll this around Be conscious of your body position here. So you do want to keep that back straight. And if you're uncomfortable in this position, you can definitely do this from your knees as well. That might be an easier way for you to maneuver into that trap if you're feeling it in your back and you're not comfortable. So just 5 seconds left here. And relax. We're going to switch that ball over to our left side. So again, right on that left trap. We're going to hinge. I'll come back up to standing. I prefer the standing. So here we go. And you can maybe see a little bit easier. Hopefully you can see that yellow ball through here. So again, I do have a little bit of a molding right here on this corner, so it is harder for me to move laterally, but I don't know if you can see this, I'm adjusting the ball with my hand so I can get closer to the outside of my shoulder while still, again, exploring through that trap. You can get a little closer into your neck if you need to, and as I mentioned, that little slight sort of diagonal roll down, that's sort of my go-to spot, so I'm twisting towards the opposite hip just that little bit. Just remember, 5 more seconds, not so bad. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Next up is our lat. So our lats are these guys, and many of you may find, if you've never put a ball or a roller in there, your lats are a sensitive area, so it's a really good idea to do some release work in there. Things are tighter than you may realize. So you're going to have that ball on your lat against the wall here. I find, cross your arm, oops, let me set this going. Cross your arm, touch that shoulder, and you're going to press that hip. So again, we're on our right side here. You sort of drive your hip into the wall, so you can see the ball is in there. So I do this with my opposite arm to expose that lat. If your arm is hanging down, sometimes you don't have as much exposure. I'm rounding it just slightly so I can really get in there. Right up close to that armpit, sensitive there. I find also not so bad in the middle, and as I get a little lower, that's where I'm really sensitive. So for me on my skinny wall, I just have to be careful I don't pop that ball right out, but we are almost there. Last 5 seconds on this right side. 3, 2, and 1. Switch it over. We're going to go right into our left side here. So again, cross that left arm over. You've got that ball right into your lat, and I'm driving my hip into the wall to create a little more pressure. Pressure into that ball, therefore pressure into that muscle. I'm really squishing the muscles, essentially with that ball against my ribs to work through it. There might be a few spots that catch. That's kind of normal, and that's where you should spend a little time. Remember, try all the areas close into that armpit, further down that lat. Adjust the ball if you need to with your hand. We're almost there. 5 seconds left. And time. Last but not least are the rhomboids. So your rhomboids are going to be right through here. So you're going to have that ball slightly below your shoulder blade, close in towards your spine, but again, you're going to move that around a little bit. So we'll start here on our right side. And so you can have a bigger piece of wall now if you need. You've got that ball in that right side, right rhomboid, okay, below that shoulder blade in towards your spine, but not right on your spine. It's on the right side. And I find if I do almost like a partial squat here, that's going to help me. I can bend and straighten my legs to roll this ball around. And if you want to expose your rhomboid a little bit more, if you want to be able to get a little deeper, round your back slightly and you'll be able to feel a little bit more. If you're squeezing your shoulder blades back, you're protecting that muscle and you're not going to get in as deep. So round slightly, find those areas that need the love. Hang out there just a little bit. Only 3, 2, and 1. And here's where we switch to the left side. So I'll reset this guy. Oops. Upside down doesn't work so well for me. Okay, so left side, last one, same thing. We're in that little sort of partial squat position. I'm rounding my back slightly. And I talked about rounding my back, but I'll sometimes even round that arm a bit. You can even see through the video how much I'm rounding my mid and upper back. So for me, I love this one. I am tight here, but it's not as sensitive to me. It feels so good to get worked in here. So I just sort of really lean into this one. I hope it feels good for you. We've got 10 more seconds on this side. Wiggle through it. 5 seconds left. And release. So that is your release, the 4 areas we're going to use the ball for. Now I'm going to move through just a couple mobility exercises specifically for your neck and your upper back. So I want you to join with me on the ground. You're just going to be on your knees, and this is so that we can stabilize our spine and just work that neck. So we're going to do a cervical car, controlled articular rotations. And so what that means is we're going to rotate through our neck. So I'm going to have you have your hands by your side. If you can reach your ankles, grab onto them to sort of stabilize those arms. If not, just be really strong through your arms and almost like you're punching the ground. Core is tight. I want you to start by tipping your chin down towards your chest. We're going to rotate that chin, almost like you're dragging it across your collarbone towards your right shoulder. From here, you're going to tip that head back, trying to keep your core tight so nothing through your thoracic spine is moving. It's just that cervical spine, so just your neck. Big circle around till that chin comes down towards that collarbone, and then you're dragging it back to the center. We're going to do 3 circles in each direction. So same way to the right again. Drag the collarbone before you start to do that big circle. I'm keeping my abs tight. Nothing else is moving. These are really slow rotations. That's hence the name controlled articular rotation. So we're building a bit of strength through this range of motion. And this is our 3rd one. So now we're going to change directions. Drag that chin along your collarbone towards your left shoulder and continue that circle around till your chin comes back to your right side. And we're going to repeat 2 more times. So again, make sure you've got tension through your arms, keeping everything pinned while you move that neck. Last one. And relax. Good. From here, a seated butterfly. So you can stay in this position as long as it's comfortable for you. I want your hands to interlock behind your head, and you're going to do a contraction here. So we're bringing our elbows close together, rounding our backs, and then we're going to extend through our spine. So lifting that chest up, and again, I want you to round through your back and lift the chest up. We're going to do 5 total. So this is 2. Round that upper back. Extend through the chest. 2 more. Big round. Big extension. Last one. Round. And extend. We're going to go a little bit further. Similar movement, but now I'm going to have you bend over and grab your head. So we're going to rest our head on the ground, and hands are going to interlock, or not interlock, but just grab the back of our head here. We're going to make a similar motion where we round a little bit more through our neck now, our neck and our upper back, and then try to think of extending your chest towards your thighs. 5 of these, so round and extend. Okay? You don't need to add a lot of resistance into this. We're just thinking of that mobility, so we're trying to move through the range of motion. Okay, our hands add a little, just the weight of our hands is enough resistance. So don't pull too hard on that neck. We're trying to be nice to it. Last one here, round and extend. Excellent. Come back up. And our next one is a lateral stretch. So I'm going to actually have you lay on the ground. I'll do this side first so that you can see it. You're going to have your right leg straight and your left leg bent. So we're stretching the left side first. I'm doing it this way just so that you can see better. I want you from this position to grab your left ankle, okay? And I'm also going to then grab my head with my right hand, and I'm going to pull my neck towards the right so that I'm getting a stretch through the side of my neck. That's why I've pinned this arm on my ankle. And you're going to move out of it. So we're not really holding it too long. I want you to move into the stretch and then out of it. And I really want you to focus on using those muscles to move. So I'm using my hand to pull myself into the stretch, but then I'm actually going to use that neck muscle to pull myself out. So I just want 2 more. I'm doing 5 as well. And then last one before we switch. So now we're going to switch. I've got my left leg straight, right leg is bent. I'm going to grab onto my right ankle. I'm doing the same thing, but grabbing with my left hand and pulling my neck towards my left shoulder. So again, I pull myself into that stretch and release. We're going to do 5 of these. And you can change the angle slightly. So again, you can kind of consider even tucking your chin a little bit more. If you need more of that diagonal, that's going to stretch the back of the neck more so than the side. So move through a few different ranges, but be again gentle. We're not reefing on our neck. We're just guiding it into that stretch. 1 more. This is our 5th one. And release. You got it. 1 more mobility movement for the day. So you're going to come back up onto your knees. I find this just the best position to help keep everything stable through here. And you're going to start by drawing a bow. So let's use our right arm first. You're going to draw a bow like you're pulling your bow and arrow. So I'm squeezing that shoulder blade and I'm opening up my chest using that thoracic spine to rotate. Then my right arm is going to come over like I'm about to dive. Cross that right arm over your left and watch how I'm rounding that right side of my back. Come back to center and think, draw your bow and dive over, big stretch. I'm pulling this even down to get a little more stretch. We're going to do 3 more, so 5 total. Row and dive. I know I said row, row, bow and arrow, same thing. You got 2 more. Twist here and dive over. Okay, last one. Big twist and dive over. Good. We'll do our left side and then we're done. So same thing, we're drawing the bow and arrow with our left arm this time. Twist through that thoracic spine. Bring that left arm over, cross over the right, and then again, you're rounding the left side, you're twisting, or you're reaching towards the right knee. So again, I draw the bow with my left arm, and I'm diving over, big stretch through this lateral line. 3 more. And over. Good. This is number 4. Reach it over. And then last one here. So big twist and dive. And give those shoulders a little roll. Hopefully, if you're like me, you worked up a little bit of a sweat doing that, but you should also feel things much looser through your neck and your upper back, and hopefully this will help you lead to a much better and less stressful day. Thanks for tuning in and following along. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day. I will see you on the internet. Take care.